This hearing just went completely off the rails because what started as questions about Epstein files turned into a direct clash over truth, power, and whether the American people are being told everything.
Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized for unanimous consent.
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to submit two sets of documents. The first is a series of emails from the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. They are making FOIA requests to get their own FBI files and not having any success. So I want to bring attention to that by submitting that to the record. The second document that I want to submit to the record, for the record, I know we don't usually read these. This one's not readable. It's completely redacted. For the most part, the first 50 pages. This is actually the search warrant that was served on James O'Keefe for a diary that he had already given to the government 2 months before. And as it turns out, there were no indictments here, yet he still doesn't know why he was raided, and I think he deserves to know. So,
Without objection.
Thank you.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from California.
Director, the first time you saw Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. Did you close the files or keep reading?
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so
You haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest sex trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce the amount of children that are being trafficked and the number of pedophiles.
It sounds like those children being trafficked would appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at least be 1,000 times?
We have released every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can characterize the numbers however you want it.
Claiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times.
It's not. It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article. And keep going, reclaiming your time, because the people of California are being underserved by your representation.
If the president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves him?
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding child pedophiles is disgusting. Anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone and go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge in FBI resources through my redeployment, because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco need it.
Director, remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the Attorney's file.
It's a simple question. Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed.
The question is simple.
Who
did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes or no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No, A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F.
it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your constituency by focusing on reducing violent crime in this country and the number of pedophiles that are legally harbored in your sanctuary cities in California? I'll work with you on that.
Regular order, Mr. Chairman. I'm the lawless gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The question has been asked and answered.
You have not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt. Director, did Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it.
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information, and we have done that.
Did Donald Trump ever provide information about Jeffrey Epstein as an informant?
Donald Trump has not been, and I can only speak for the FBI, an informant of the FBI.
So, Director, you played this cute shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court has said that it legally is not allowed to be released, but the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice. So let's move on, Director. You wrote a book called Government Gangsters. You identified 20 individuals in that book You put me on that list at the top of the list. Thank you. My children find it flattering. 20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
the
because
question
they failed
again.
to meet the muster in their
Director,
constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career in Congress.
I'm reclaiming my time,
It has been a
Director.
disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my time.
You can reclaim your time all you want.
Mr. Chairman, you're going to allow a witness to speak this way? Mr. Chairman, would you give
recuse yourself, Director?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, would you admonish the witness not to insult members?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman,
the
just
committee will remember.
quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts since the witness decided to interrupt him continuously?
And the witness will be able to respond if he wants. We'll make sure
Thank
he has
you.
time to do that.
My question is,
Continue.
will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has expired. The witness may respond if he would like.
And the answer was no, as I heard.
Correct.
Okay.
What you just watched is one of those moments where the surface level chaos can distract you from what's actually being revealed underneath. Because this isn't just about raised voices or sharp exchanges. It's about transparency, accountability, and whether those in power are willing to answer the questions that matter most. Let's start from the beginning. The hearing opens with something that should immediately grab your attention. Victims of Jeffrey Epstein still struggling to access their own FBI files. Think about that for a second. These are individuals directly impacted by one of the most notorious sex trafficking operations in modern history, and yet they're facing barriers just to see information about their own cases. That alone raises serious concerns about how transparent the system really is when it comes to victims. And then the conversation shifts. And this is where things escalate quickly. A direct question is asked. Has the FBI director fully reviewed the Epstein files? The answer? No. Now, that might sound like a technical detail, but it's not. This is one of the most high-profile and consequential criminal investigations in recent history. When the person at the top says they haven't reviewed everything, it opens the door to a bigger question. Who is actually in control of the full picture? Democrats push on this point because oversight isn't just about catching wrongdoing. It's about ensuring that no critical information is being overlooked or withheld. When leadership doesn't have full visibility or appears not to, it creates uncertainty. And uncertainty, in cases like this, can erode public trust very quickly. Then comes the tension around whether certain names appear in the files, and more importantly, whether that information has been fully disclosed. Notice the pattern: direct questions, indirect answers. Repeated attempts to get clarity met with deflection or redirection. That dynamic is important. Because in a functioning democracy, oversight depends on clarity. If answers become evasive, the process itself starts to break down. And this is where the democratic perspective becomes especially important. The goal here isn't to push a narrative, it's to get to the truth, to ensure that no one, regardless of status or political connection, is shielded from scrutiny. That's the principle at stake. Because if the public starts to believe that information is being selectively released or controlled, it undermines confidence, not just in one investigation, but in the entire justice system. Now, the director responds by pointing to crime statistics, arrests, seizures, enforcement successes. And again, those things matter. But here's the key point. Performance metrics do not replace transparency. You can have operational success and still face serious questions about accountability. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. What makes this exchange even more striking is how personal it becomes. Accusations, insults, frustration boiling over. And while that might grab headlines, it also reveals something deeper. How strained the relationship between oversight bodies and executive agencies has become. When communication breaks down to this level, it becomes harder to separate facts from defensiveness. But underneath all of that noise is a very clear issue. Are institutions being fully transparent with the American people, especially in cases involving powerful individuals? That's the question Democrats are trying to force into the open, not for political points, but because the credibility of the system depends on it. And let's not forget, this isn't just about one case or one hearing. It's about precedent. If accountability weakens here, it sends a message about what can be avoided in the future. That's why moments like this matter far beyond the room they happen in. So when you watch this, don't just see the confrontation. See the stakes. See the effort to push for answers, even when those answers are uncomfortable or resisted. Because that's how democracy is supposed to work. Not quietly, not perfectly, but persistently. If you want more breakdowns like this, where we go beyond the noise and actually help you understand what's happening and why it matters, subscribe to Blue Voice. Like this video and share it with someone who needs the full context, not just the clips. Because staying informed isn't optional in a democracy. It's essential.